guy. I want to show you guys this X-Mel Targets AR500 bear target. This is kind of designed, let's just get it up there. This is kind of designed to act as a real quick setup target that you put out just while you're practicing. We've got stakes on the bottom there. And because it's made of AR500 steel, it looks like this is really heavy. I've got a steel plate this size, made of mild steel, out where I usually shoot, and it weighs 200 pounds, and it's still covered in shrapnel from rounds hitting it and starting to shred the metal. So the idea with this stuff is that it's not going to shred the metal. The metal is going to stay nice and smooth. So if you wanted to, you could throw this thing on the back of a quad, take it out to the middle of the field, pop it in the ground, and start trying your different shooting techniques, whether that be your standing shots, your kneeling, your prone, and start getting really good at it by aiming for that flapper zone that's kind of going to be your kill zone. Let's take a look at a couple of the features on this thing. So there's not too much to look at down here because we've just got those ground spikes that we're going to use to quickly put this in the ground wherever we are. Let's look at this flapper system up at the top. That's a little bit bigger on this one than it is on their groundhog target. And you can see that it's free to flap one hit, and it'll sound quite a bit different when you're hitting this guy versus hitting this steel, so you'll know when you're hitting the right spot. To remove this plate for painting or whatever else you might want to do, I think the only thing you'd really want to do is paint it. You just pull this pin out, move this lock bar, and then it kind of like makes this gap right here so that you're free to pull it out and up. And that's all there is. So there's your flapper, and it goes in just as easy. There's a hole right here. Let's see if I can get you guys from this side so you can see that. There's that hole. And on this side we've got a hole, and we've got that little latch area through here. So it just goes in there, latch goes over, and then the pin goes in the side. And this pin isn't visible from the front, so you're not going to accidentally hit it with a round. You can only really hit the flapper, and that's all pretty well covered here. So the shrapnel off this flapper isn't going to destroy any hardware that's on the back here, and this thing should survive lots and lots of rounds. This thing's really easy to set up. You can just pretty much find any soft spot where you can kind of get into the ground. It's really easy to get your feet in through those gaps and kind of stake it down, and there you go. So no poles or anything like that for a gong. I'm just going to show some slow-mo video of hitting it with a couple of different calibers. I'm shooting it with 223, 308, a couple of other things, and yeah, just lots of gratuitous slow-mo, just showing kind of what it looks like when you hit the steel. I'll hit the flapper later, but I was just testing some different kinds of ammo. So I wanted to show a whole bunch of different kinds of impact, just to show that it'll take pretty much anything you throw at it. 223, you want to hit it at a longer range if you're using anything that's high velocity. And you definitely don't want to use steel core on it, but you shouldn't be using that on any kind of metal target. There's a hit from the plate. I am using steel jacketed stuff here. This is just that cheap tool ammo. That's why you're seeing those sparks. Which, if you're in a place where it's flammable, might be a concern. Here it had been raining for days, so this stuff was all super wet, so I felt comfortable just running it in here and not having to worry about a fire. And it's just some from the side here. You can just kind of see that shockwave as the jackets, the pieces of lead and that kind of thing hit the ground. So you got to make sure you're doing it somewhere where it's not going to do any damage or cut up the ground anywhere too fancy. I've got one coming up here. I've got where they've got the camera here is kind of in the danger zone, because this is kind of where you get shrapnel coming out at a 90-degree angle from the plate, right? So yeah, you're starting to see some shrapnel. It's coming pretty close, especially with this one here. There's a couple of pieces that got real close, so right in there, yeah. But kind of cool. That's kind of neat to see, big rounds. This is more of that steel jacket stuff. Here it is hitting that plate, and you can see there's a lot of sparks coming off of it. Looks pretty cool. Again, you wouldn't want to do this in an area where you might get fire or anything like that. And just back to normal motion. Kind of cool with all that leaf litter just kind of flying around while you're seeing what it is. So that's pretty much it. I'll just go into my summary. So that was the X-Metal Target's AR500 3/8, and it was the flapper target with the bear silhouette on it. They have a couple of different other ones out there, but I don't shoot a lot of bear. I mostly shoot deer, but I think this target still got the point across, which was aiming for the right spot, hitting the vitals, and seeing which of your rifles can do it at range and from which positions. So, I mean, a lot of people out there will shoot paper, and paper targets are really good. If you need to sight in or check the accuracy of a rifle, you still have to go paper. But for something that's really quick that you can set up in a more natural environment, something that you can set up on the side of a hill, really quickly pull out, put it on the back of a quad, take it out, set it up, and then use your rifle in kind of in the conditions you would when you're hunting, I think there's something to be said about that. It's not going to get destroyed like a lot of metal targets out there that are just made of mild steel. So you're going to be able to keep using it, and when you're taking it away, like to leave the environment as you left it, as you came, kind of a thing, you're not going to cut your hands or anything like that on any shrapnel or any pieces that have been kind of sloughed off of the metal, because it's tough, right? It's AR500. So what would I use this kind of a target for? This kind of target is going to be my go-to for testing out new hunting rifles and really practicing my shots from prone and kneeling. You know, my prone's pretty good. My kneeling is still something I'm working on, so I want to make sure that my kneeling is accurate to that vitals size. Say out to like 100, 150 yards, and that's just a quick drop to the knees and put an arm up kind of a thing and take a shot. So I'm going to try that out a lot more, and just going to be easier. You know, if you pop a paper target out at 100, it's really hard to tell whether you've hit the spot or not. Whereas with something like this, it's very easy because you get that tactile, the audio when you hit the little flapper there is quite different. It makes a sharp ding kind of a sound, and it's a lot different than when you hit the steel on it. So I'm looking forward to shooting it more and trying more of my hunting rifles like that, and I think it's going to be good. If you like this video and you want to see more, subscribe and hit like, and I'll try to make more of them. Thanks.